Okay, good morning everybody. Welcome to our Sunday press conference and thank you for coming. We have a few announcements to make. We have, of course, with us the Secretary of Health. We have also Dr. Rabi of the WHO. To my right, we have Dr. Chito Abilino of the Epidemiology Bureau, Dr. Jean Solano of San Lazaro Hospital, and Dr. Celia Carlos of the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine. So I would like to give the mic to our Secretary, Dr. Francisco T. Duque III, for our statement.
Thank you very much, Yusek Eric. Again, I'd like to greet all of you. Good morning, and this is my press statement. The DOH and the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine, RITM, today revealed that as of yesterday, February 1, 2020, 24 patients under investigation, or PUIs, tested negative for the 2019 novel coronavirus or 2019 nCoV, while 2 tested positive. Samples from 4 other PUIs are currently being tested at RITM. The 2 confirmed cases are the previously announced 38-year-old Chinese female and her companion, a 44-year-old Chinese male, who were both admitted for isolation and supportive treatment at the San Lazaro Hospital in Santa Cruz, Manila. Both patients are from Wuhan. Let me repeat that. Both patients are from Wuhan, China, and arrived in the Philippines via Hong Kong last January 21, 2020. The second confirmed case was admitted for pneumonia last January 25, 2020, after experiencing fever, cough, and sore throat. The DOH also confirmed that the 44-year-old male died yesterday, February 1, 2020. Over the course of the patient's admission, he developed severe pneumonia. In his last few days, the patient was stable and showed signs of improvement. However, the condition of the patient deteriorated within the last 24 hours, resulting in his demise. We are currently working with the Chinese embassy to ensure the dignified management of the remains according to national and international standards to contain the disease. DOH is assuring the public that all measures needed to contain the spread of the virus is being strictly implemented and followed. San Lazaro Hospital has implemented rigorous infection control protocols while caring for these patients. Both patients were isolated following strict isolation standards, and all health personnel who came in contact with them practiced stringent infection control measures and wore appropriate personal protective equipment. The Epidemiology Bureau, EB, of the department is currently conducting contact tracing of passengers aboard the flights of the 2 positive cases. EB has secured the manifestos of the flights and is in close coordination with the concerned airlines. Contact tracing activities are ongoing in Cebu and Dumaguete and in other places where the patient stayed and traveled to. The Philippine government has already implemented a temporary travel ban for travelers coming from China, Macau, and Hong Kong. DOH is monitoring every development on the 2019 nCoV very closely and is taking proactive measures to contain the spread of this virus in our country. This health event is fast evolving and fluid. We are continuously recalibrating our plans and efforts as the situation develops. We are providing the public with constant updates and advisories as frequently as possible. So all I ask from the public now is to heed the advisories from official DOH channels and to refrain from sharing unverified and unvalidated information. I assure the public that we will keep you abreast of any information that we have. Currently, there are no reports of community spread of the virus within the country. However, the public is still reminded to practice prevention measures such as I have always repeated, proper hand hygiene and observance of cough etiquette. So this will be all for my press statement for this day. Thank you. Back to you, Yusek Eric.
The Secretary will take a few questions, but he has to rush to another meeting. After that, we can entertain a few more questions with our panel here and our resource persons. Who would like to ask the first question? Yes. Dr. Rabi?
This is the first reported death outside China. However, we need to take into mind that this is not a locally acquired case. This patient came from the epicenter of this outbreak, Wuhan, China, where there have been a very large number of deaths. We are working together with DOH to both minimize and contain the spread of the disease and also to strengthen management of possible cases of 2019 novel coronavirus acute respiratory disease.
Next question, yes. Well, we are now in coordination with the Chinese embassy, and we are scheduling the remains for cremation. Yes. When we have infectious persons who die of infectious illness, part of the protocol is to dispose, bury, or cremate the remains as soon as possible.
Hubei lang, di ba? Nung una. Last Friday, the task force met on the novel coronavirus, attended by the Department of Foreign Affairs, DOJ, Bureau of Immigration, the DILG, the Department of Transportation, the Department of Tourism, the Department of, the PNP and the DND were also there. And so that was the recommendation, to expand the travel ban to persons and travelers coming from anywhere from China and the Special Administrative Region. So that is now the basis for the China-wide ban, temporary ban. Interagency. It is a resolution that was agreed upon by all the members of the task force. By the way, the task force, the legal personality of the task force is on the EO 168 of 2014 from the Office of the President.
Questions? Sige, one.
As the chair, yes. But suffice it to say that it's the task force. I happen to be the chair per EO directive.
Sir, part of the question kasi po parang previously, nabanggit nyo na baka this might affect po yung relations with China. So,
the events have escalated. The WHO last Friday had declared a public health emergency of international concern. And so in the exercise of our sovereign rights, the President, bearing in mind the protection of our people, has approved the recommendation of the task force. And that is why the China-wide ban.
Yes. Well, yun pong kasing dumadaming cases sa China naman. No? Dito sa atin, actually, our persons under investigation have not been increasing rapidly. And I think with the ban now of the President, it will be a lot easier for us. Kasi kokonti na po yung babantayan natin na papasok sa Pilipinas. Yeah.
Well, before we started this press con, I was in touch with Commissioner Morente of Bureau of Immigration. And also, yesterday, I have been in touch with the DFA USEC Dulay. And as we are having this conference now, as we are speaking, the BI is already implementing the presidential directive. Okay, so lahat yan, maglalagay, magpapaskel na ng mga notices ala Singapore that also imposed a China-wide temporary ban. So we're doing the same. And the DFA is sending notice to the missions in China, the Philippine missions in China. Well, gaya ng sinabi ko, yung mag-uumpisa yan doon sa presidential directive. Okay, na kaninang umaga, una na ngang sinabi ni Senator Bongo at ngayon naman si Sec. Sal Panelo ang nagbigay ng directive para sa mga ahensya na ipatupad itong hangarin ni Pangulo na para sa kapakanan at proteksyon ng ating mga kababayan ay dapat kaagaran ipatupad at ipinapatupad na. Habang andito tayo sa presscon ay kumikilos na ang ating DOJ, Bureau of Immigration at saka DFA.
May next question po tayo sandali. Gerald, please, next question. So meron po tayong 36 na PUI. It will probably be updated sa Monday and Tuesday. Of the 36 cases natin, yung dalawa yung positive, so 34. Dito sa RITM, 24 were found to be negative. Sa Australia, meron tayong 6 na negative. Una yung bata, and then second yung batch na 5, no? Kasama ng unang positive. So that brings it to 30. Meron tayong 4 ngayon na under testing pa sa RITM, but all of the patients are stable and doing well. Okay, one last question. Oh, sige, 2. Sampo yung discharge na. Yung first discharge na yun, ano? Yung first positive, wala na siyang sakit. No? The patient has no symptoms, no fever, no cough. Yes. Yes. Dr. Solano of San Lazaro, I think, would be the best.
Yeah, so like in most of the referral hospitals, we strictly implement full PPE and full personal protective equipment for those who are handling suspect and confirmed cases of person under investigation or those with in the hospital. So for the visitors in the hospitals, they're not required to wear any mask unless any personnel in the high-risk area should wear all those protective equipment. But for the visitors, we discourage them wearing those masks, but unless they have respiratory symptoms that they want to be protective or they want to protect themselves, and I think that's the usual procedure we do. But for any individual in the hospital, outside of the hospital, it's still hand hygiene and cough etiquette that is very important. Yeah, for those patients in the PUI that are currently admitted in the hospitals, we don't allow any visitors. Yes, we in a highly restricted area, designated area. Now, in the high-risk area, I think we have 4, where the 2 patients were admitted. We have 4 admitted patients in that high-risk area.
One last question. Kung wala na, maraming salamat po sa inyo. We cannot confirm that right now.
We continue to identify H1N1 because they are now community acquired. No? Remember, we started with the outbreak in 2009. Then subsequently, this became a community acquired pathogen. So it's sort of something normal which we see in our influenza surveillance.
I would like to add that having said that, that is why it is important to do hand washing and cough etiquette because you have many viruses here, okay, and elsewhere. You have the AH1N1 influenza, the seasonal flu. You have influenza type A, influenza type B for the viruses, and then you have the bacterial infection caused by your Klebsiella pneumoniae, the Streptococcus pneumoniae, and also the Haemophilus influenza. So that's why this is not only, hindi lang po ito usapin patungkol sa coronavirus, kundi marami talaga tayong mga infection. So mag-iingat po tayo kapag bagsak ang ating resistensya, magpalakas tayo ng ating mga katawan dahil lalo na po mga matatanda, ibig ko pong bigyan diin na talagang sila ang atin bibigyan prioridad sa mga pangangalaga na kinakailangan. So we prioritize the elderly with those coexisting or underlying medical problems. Many of the cases in China have been observed, or rather the deaths, the first 40, most of these were really with underlying medical problems. Okay? So, ganun din sa atin, dapat mag-iingat tayo, lalo na po ang mga matatanda na may chronic conditions.
Sir, to clarify lang, si case number 2 po ay nahawak po ba kay case number 1 or
Ang malinaw lang, they are partners.
mas mahina po, Doc, yung immune system itong pangalawa?
Hindi. The nCoV talaga wide range from mild to severe. Hindi pa rin natin masabi kung...
Sorry. I think it is important to include, as pasensya na, no? Kasi halos wala pa kaming tulog. We should mention that in these patients, no, meron din silang mixed pathogens, no? Mixed infection, I would say, due to influenza B and Streptococcus pneumoniae. So, meron ng halo-halo na mga pathogens o mga sanhi ng kanyang ipinakitang pneumonia. Okay?
Thank you very much, everybody. Please enjoy the rest of Sunday.